That's Louis Capaldi on Y105. It's 9:05. Good morning. I'm Chris Farber. We're going to do our community corner this morning, brought to you by Fountain Chiropractic, and we'll tell you more about what they have going on coming up in just a little bit. But we're joined in studio today by Eric Atier. He is from Key City Creative Center. Good morning, sir. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing just dandy. Thanks for stopping by. And about a year ago, Tim from the Key City Creative Center gave my son and I a tour of the facility, and what a cool place it is. This morning, we thought we would welcome you to the studio to tell our listeners a little bit about it and what a great gem it is to have in the tri-state area. So for people who don't know, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about Key City Creative Center.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. What we are is Key City Creative Center is what's known as a makerspace. I guess that's kind of a varied term because we've got a few different maker spaces in the tri-state area. But I think what ours stands out above the others is that we've got a full wood shop, we've got a large craft room with a laser cutter, and a full metal shop. There's all sorts of great things going on, great projects, people collaborating, and just doing a lot of great things together.
It's kind of, to me, when I toured it, it reminded me, it's like a club where people can hang out and make stuff.
Yeah, it's like a, tool library and,
sure.
like a tool gym that you can just go in. It's got 24/7 access. There's just all sorts of great opportunities that we got going on there. And it's kind of become kind of a nexus for that part of the community. We've helped get a couple of businesses started from that. It's a really cool place, and it's located at 1781 White Street, so kind of right on the bend on Central there. If you just take a left turn, you'll run right into it. But, it's funny because there are a lot of businesses and buildings in Dubuque where you drive by them every day and never actually stop to look or realize what's in there, and that's what it was for me when I first saw Key City Creative Center. But going in, I'll tell you what, it's pretty amazing, and I know that you mentioned some of the things people do there, but I noticed that they had a vehicle. People could bring their vehicles in and work on their cars, and then they had a man was there making a knife when we were there. Like he had for people who watch those sword shows, people making weapons. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's all sorts of different people doing all sorts of different things. We've got a guy downstairs. His name is Chuck Weber, and he's building an airplane right now.
Really?
He has NICC students coming out, learning how to build an airplane. Other different youth groups. It's really nice. We've got some youth groups and even some scout troops that come out once in a while and do all sorts of projects together.
Yeah, so let me ask you, you talk about being a creative center. Is there a membership, or how do people get involved with the facility?
Yeah, so a basic membership is $55 a month. If you're looking for a year, you get 20% off, so I think that's working out to $525 a year. Again, it's 24/7 access. You have a key fob. So sometimes I work pretty early on my regular job, so I'm usually in there on the weekends. I'm in there 5 in the morning working on stuff, and it's just kind of a blast. There's also a family plan with that would be 2 adults. That's $80 a month. Again, if you pay for a year, I think it works out to $768 for the year.
But for people who maybe aren't necessarily, like I said to you off the air, like not necessarily handy, but hey, I've always kind of wanted to learn a little bit about working with wood or other things like that. I know on the website, keycitycreativecenter.org, you actually feature upcoming events. So there are seminars and sessions that people have an opportunity to learn. I see there's one on making quilts. So there's just a little something for everybody. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then it's nice because all the members are coming from different backgrounds. We all have a different subtext, so it's kind of nice. We talk about stuff. People are asking questions about how to do a certain thing, and we can all pull together and all bring our knowledge together for everybody
to be successful at what they're trying to attempt.
And not to be silly, but you think back 100 years, like how did people learn how to do woodworking and you learned it from somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of really cool that way. But classes on woodworking, welding, metalworking machines, ceramics, pottery, laser engraving, 3D printing, sewing. This is all on the website, keycitycreativecenter.org. So if you don't mind, hang out, Eric. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll tell people if they do want more information, how they can do that in a few minutes.
Sounds great, Chris.
All right,
Thanks.
Eric, ATA from Key City Creative Center, our guest in studio. Again, our community corner. And this is Colleagues Talk at Y105. Colleagues Talk on Y105. It's 9:13, and this morning we're talking to Eric, ATA. He's from the Key City Creative Center at 1781 White Street in Dubuque. And I mentioned to you earlier, Eric, that a lot of people, they drive by a lot of buildings each day, every day, and never really give them a second look or realize what they are. And that's how I kind of felt about Key City Creative Center until I realized what it was and where it was. But that area, there's been a lot of development there. So tell me a little bit about other things happening in the area where Key City Creative Center is.
Yeah. So right there in that S-curve area, and just before that, I mean, there's been a lot of businesses popping up, and a lot of renovations going on. Upcycle Dubuque is down there, and we got a new pet store called Wags and Wiggles. Let me see, Retro Cupcakes is down there now, and actually the old King of Clubs has been revamped into the Central Avenue Mercantile. So there's a whole bunch of vendors that are selling their own wares there, and some classes that are being taught out of there.
That's cool.
So yeah, I mean, there's some great stuff happening down there on Central. If you haven't been there in a while, it's worth taking a look. In fact, this weekend there is the Central Express. That's been going on since November 8th and is going on till December 21st. And we're going to have a sleigh with Santa out there this weekend on Saturday,
right? Yeah,
from noon to 4. But if you can pull in from on Friday from 5 to 9 as well, there's going to be some stuff going on all down that central corridor right there.
Eric, is it true, like Key City Creative Center created this sleigh for Santa just specifically for this event? Is that right?
Well, yeah, actually, I'm the one that built it.
Oh, that's cool. What an honor. You're going to make Santa's good list this year, huh?
I hope I get off the naughty list. That would be good.
So you say from noon to 4, and I understand Santa, and is it true, like I heard maybe the Grinch might be there as well?
Grinch might be there, yeah, since it is his sleigh.
Okay, cool.
I think Santa's just borrowing it.
Okay, cool. Well, people can come down and you mentioned take pictures and get a chance to see Santa this weekend. So yeah, and for those of you who have never experienced or checked out Key City Creative Center, what a great opportunity. So pop down, you said Saturday noon to 4, they can do that.
Noon to 4 on Saturday. If you want to check out any other details, look up downtowndubuque.org.
All right, cool. And I know the website for Key City Creative Center is simply keycitycreativecenter.org, so you can also get more information there. But, man, I appreciate you coming in and filling us in on it. And I tell you, like I said, my son and I toured it last year, and I was really impressed with the facility. I think it's a cool thing for Dubuque to have. So thanks for coming in and sharing it with our listeners.
Thanks for your time, Chris.
Absolutely. So, again, that's Eric, ATA from Key City Creative Center. And if you want to learn more about what we just talked about, feel free to dial me up at 556-5105. Here's Shade's Trampoline at Y105.